You're now listening to the Open Africa podcast with Laulu, Nosa, and Furo. On this episode of the Open Africa podcast, we'll be discussing some recent news items, as well as, I guess, would we say false marketing in the ecosystem. And to kick off, recently, Norbase announced their partnership with Mercury, basically giving customers in Africa the ability to register like businesses in America, get like an American bank account number, and basically take your business global. Thoughts?
Mercury is the
So
bank.
it's like Stripe.
Okay, no, sir, go ahead before I push my
It's
agenda.
like Stripe Atlas.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that
But
okay.
Lalo, go ahead.
Jay, there was a time
It's
that
just okay. It's just okay.
founders in our ecosystem were lamenting, some founders in our ecosystem, that Mercury closed their accounts without warning. To be fair, I did see someone say that they had unlocked his account after asking him a few compliance questions. So what happened back then, and should African founders not be wary of people that can just up and block their accounts offshore?
A Nigerian bank can help and block your account.
Yeah.
But you can enter their branch
It is
and seize printer.
It is what printer? I told you all you do is shout. As long as it's a compliance issue, nothing is going to happen. If I dare you to enter the bank when there's arrest on site.
Wow, it seems like you have some recent experience with arrest on sites.
I'm just tired of people complaining over compliance issues.
For context, there was a video recently of somebody being arrested in Kuda's physical location. And it might have been an arrest on site, but people did not take it that way. So yes, if you are a criminal in this industry, be wary about entering banking halls.
Yeah.
I'm just on a mildly related tangent.
Mm-hmm.
Also called. So there's this thing that criminals do. Okay, well, I don't know if I should call them criminals. They've not been tried. But when they do things fraudulent and their accounts get blocked, they do all these threads on Twitter, gather all these their followers, blah, 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 but they never reveal what it is they're doing. It's like, oh, I just received money and it was for my rent or it was for my school fees. Or my sister is in the hospital and I need this money urgently. As soon as you see complaints like that, just know that it's also called it's criminal activity that resulted in that block. But please proceed.
No, sir, this is where you say, don't quote me.
Oh, don't quote me.
Please. Clearly, there's lots of madness in there. Like when it comes to like fraud, the actors are very, very, very creative, and I think that with this, let's say, cancel culture, especially within Nigerian Twitter, they capitalize on that from time to time to make their case. It doesn't take them far in reality, anyways. Moving on swiftly.
I showed you guys that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I showed you guys that thing on these guys on Cheaper Cash about all those guys that are getting their accounts locked and they couldn't withdraw. And all of it is because we're trying to exploit some arbitrage opportunity between Cheaper Rwanda, Cheaper Uganda, and Cheaper Nigeria. And I think Cheaper Cash nabbed them, started blocking accounts. And you see that they're copying CBN and FCCPC, FCPC inside the whole thing. Anyway, yes, guys are creative. Please, go ahead.
Very creative. Okay. Lamy is an insurtech platform. They just did a seed extension, $3.8 million. Their seed round was $1.8 million. What Lamy does is basically, to my understanding, provide insurance infrastructure. So they help insurance companies basically manage claims, et cetera, on digital rails. Yeah, there was some interesting news from Kenya in the last couple of days. Comments?
We need to
I know Lami does work for Stanbic or Standard Bank.
Yeah, not in Nigeria.
Yeah, I think it's Standard Bank. Yeah, not in Nigeria.
Standard Bank, yeah.
I don't remember because they have like a female founder, so like she's one of the rare unicorns in the space. And they launched as a B2C thing. I think it was like car insurance or something. Then I think they pivoted into like B2B infra. But good for them. Good for them. Economy is tough, so good for them.
The only people that survive are those that can pivot to the times. You can't get stuck on, you can't fall in love with your product and not follow the market, if that makes sense. Yeah. Laulu, any comments from you?
You know, when you said that female founder, I had to go and check.
Yeah, she's
young.
She's the one. Yeah.
Nice.
We love to see it. You know, actually, this is very random, but like at work in the last week, I was speaking to quite a number of like partner companies, and I was really excited because on all the calls I was in, I mean, they weren't the founders, but like everybody that I was speaking to was female. So be like legal, products, whatever. It was like I was literally on like at least 2 calls this week that were like all female calls. It was quite interesting. Anyways, as a side note, yeah, that made me happy this week randomly. Anyways, Bumper and Meta. Bumper basically provide invoicing, basically business tools for like social media, social commerce tools, actually, yeah. And they recently entered into partnership with Meta, which basically enables them to give their customers access to Instagram chat from within the Bumper app. And I believe that, I think Instagram chat and Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp is in view. Comments.
So, take it easy on Bumper. We've had this conversation. I think it's a good feature to have, at least for small efficiency for the business owners, and at less than the cost of intercom. If you wanted to use intercom, yes, I agree with you that Tech Cabal article is blowing things over the top. Bumper is not. They are not the front runners in this thing. They have a good feature, but the feature doesn't mean that they are going to dominate everybody. It's just a good feature in a product. The end.
I haven't even said anything about Tech Cabal, but
so Nusa, what are your comments?
My comment? It's a good feature. Happy for them. I do have a larger concern on product marketing and product marketing teams in this ecosystem, but we shall get to that in a short minute. But on Bump, I think it's a good feature. I think they're like the first Nigerian company to get to integrate to Facebook's, I think their chat API. So happy for them, but I think Simple does, but I'm not. I might be wrong, but happy for them. That's what I'll leave it.
Okay. All right.
On that matter of people blowing products and what their products do out of proportion, the Open Africa account, I'm not going to specify who, but the Open Africa account found it odd that Kishi was trying to push their own product as like a replacement for virtual cards. And it wasn't just the Open Africa accounts that found it odd. Even like random people just walking by were like, but how does this work? If I'm shopping on ASOS, for example, or I want to pay for AWS, will I, when it's time to check out, ask AWS to give me account number to transfer to. Or I'll tell ASOS to hold on and give me account number, then go and use Kishi to send money to them. Like, is that how it's going to work? I think guys need to relax with, like, never let a good crisis go to waste. Yeah, sure, all of that, but use sense to push your product now. Your product cannot do what your product cannot do. That's fine.
I think we should start with what Kishi is. So Kishi is essentially at least how they started out, is a marketplace. I mean, in the past, when you wanted to change like dollars, or to pay for school fees, or people want to build money homes, they used to have all these informal WhatsApp groups where you know somebody that's at home, back home, that's trying to build a house, or they're trying to send some money for your child in school. So you have all these WhatsApp groups where you do P2P trades of FX. Same thing people do with crypto now too as well, but essentially it used to be big on what's it for foreign currency. So what Kishi has done is essentially take that concept, turn it into an app, and add escrow functionality. So I can say I want to sell £100 and say this is my price. I mean, Kishi will recommend the price, but I can set the price I want. I say this is my price. They list it. And if Laulu comes now and Laulu wants to buy £100, and it's like, oh wow, there's this person that's selling £100 for this amount. I want to take this guy's offer. Laulu takes the offer. Kishi collects money from me, collects money from Laulu, and settles both of us. That's what Kishi is in a nutshell. They've evolved into doing remittance to African countries like all the Senegal, Mali. I can't remember. They did one integration with one person, and they've launched it as Kishi Express, where you can pay out to different countries. But it's still no virtual card replacement. And that's my concern with product marketing teams is, sure, you want to ride on something, but do you even understand how your own product works? Do you understand what your users use your product for? Because
I think they understand.
I mean,
they're just being obtuse in order to pull people to their platform.
I really hope that it's better for the person not to understand than to say they understand and they still sent out that newsletter. Because it was a very annoying newsletter considering what has happened. In my mind, I was like, there's probably a company out there that can't pay for AWS this month and they're scrambling because everybody else has small limits and whatnot. And these guys are preaching their currency forex marketplace as a solution to it. I'll deck the guy. Anyway, shortly after that, product marketing again for Kishi came out and said, are you tired of, so they listed FX rates. It was a tweet, different FX rates, it was 600 today, 700 tomorrow, is 780. Aren't you tired of what's it called? Of fluctuating exchange rates? Yeah. USD is coming to Kishi. My mind is okay, how is Kishi going to, I mean, this is a macroeconomic issue. So how is Kishi going to stabilize the rate? All you're going to do is I'm sure there are angles that will let you set your prices. But if everybody's setting their prices, isn't that fluctuation? If the larger macroeconomic, whatever, demand and supply suggests dollar is trending higher, is it going to be miraculously cheaper on Kishi? How is Kishi insulated from from the realities on ground that Nigeria is entering a shambles?
Well, they replied to the tweet on Open Africa handle and they said, just like pound on Kishi, you'll be able to create and accept offers at your own rate. I don't know why they think they're smart saying this, because that rate is still dependent on larger macroeconomic.
Exactly. If I go on Kishi and say I want to buy pound 400 naira, will I find a buyer?
No, sir. I think their socials person is not. They are not. They don't really get what their product.
So you're saying that their product people don't vet their tweets, so their founder doesn't know what to
I'm
do.
fairly certain that that's what is going on, because if you are the person who built Kishi, there is no way you are coming onto social media, or at least I want to believe that there's no way you are coming on social media to say, use my product as a virtual card replacement, when you know that that's not what you built. I want to believe. Otherwise, there's a deeper problem. If that thing was vetted by everybody, including the product people, they saw this and they said, okay, put this out there, put this on socials, send out a newsletter, I'll be very surprised. And maybe somebody from Kishi can slide in our DMs and let us know. But it was off. And they're lucky that they are not a bigger brand at this time, because I can imagine Kuda Bank with this type of mishit, we might still be talking about it now, or Flutterwave. Or
apart from that, it's not, you can actually be, what's it called? I don't know. They're not regulated, I guess. They're playing in this gray area. If they're a regulated entity, they will be fined because you're like intentionally misleading people.
Yeah, you are marketing something else and you're in financial services. It will be a problem if you were regulated. Your regulator won't find this funny with you. It's like UBA wakes up one day and starts, I don't know, telling you that you can use your UBA Naira account to pay for school fees. That's just fund it in Naira and send out. Like, that's not what your product does right now. So why are you putting it out there? People need to rest on this. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Marketing. I'm begging.
This leads me to a Kishi competitor that, funny enough, sounds just like Kishi. Hiroshi Abi Kaoshi.
I don't know why they're
whose own product marketing. Their own product marketing activity is to go out on every platform that does similar work to them and demarket the platform. I've seen it with Send Cash. I think now the new target of their is Lemonade.
Yeah.
If your shit's not popping, it's not popping. I don't get it. Like, if you go on their whole feed is basically looking for people that complain about Lemonade now. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, from a couple of weeks ago, I think they slowed down now. But there was a time that consistently, back to back, different posts where people are discussing the issues that they have with Lemonade. If you look at their tweets and replies and you go back a couple of weeks, maybe I should take a screenshot now before they start deleting stuff. But you'll see them actively saying, try Kaoshi. Like, my guy, run your own marketing and leave other people alone.
And it's such a very weird approach. Like, they position themselves like, oh, we send money from the UK to Nigeria, from the US to Nigeria, blah blah blah. You don't necessarily send money. What you're doing is people come and list and say they want to sell, give or take, and this is where they want to pay that, give or take. It's not like you're.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like,
it's a very,
what they're doing is a service on its own, and it's a valid service, right? Giving people a platform to trade FX. Whether it's legal or not, that's a different conversation, first of all. And then secondly, the issue here is just how, they're going about their marketing, in terms of just, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird.
So, like, I've seen it they've done it on Flutterwave Send. They've done it on Send Cash. I remember the Send Cash one was the one that was just like, blew my mind, because I think they were tackling them from a Bitcoin is not legal, you shouldn't use crypto angle. I was like, this thing you're doing is also gray area too.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to remind them that in Nigeria today, you cannot just be buying and selling FX at will. like it's not allowed. So
Yeah, 'cause-
anybody in the FX
See, this is what I do.
that is throwing stones, they clearly don't know what's going on.
This is what I mean.
Because if it was
I don't even
allowed,
feel what's it called. I don't feel sorry because what's it called, when CBN comes and starts tackling people.
yeah, because the whole FX thing, if it was allowed, best believe banks would have put up their own FX marketplaces ages ago. Ages ago. It's not if they don't want to make money now. It's a big market.
See, even Kyoshi they did the same, no virtual card, no problem. Come and use Kyoshi. So they jumped on that same angle. I'm like, this is so stupid. Like, you're failing to understand what the problem is.
But is it that, and again, I don't work in a startup, right? Is it that when people set up their teams, there's a disconnect between marketing or growth and the product teams, like when they are drafting their copies and whatnot? Because this is the sort of thing that, unless if everybody in the organization is stupid, which again, I don't want to believe that that's a likely scenario, but if somebody is drafting something that is simply not true or not valid, like, shouldn't you guys be shutting it down? I mean, when I know write FAQs.
Yeah.
It's oh man, it's a very wild thing because it's something that's very common with like startups, like in Nigeria. You don't even understand the problem you're solving, at least from a marketing perspective. I mean, you don't understand what people are using your thing for, and you're just tackling the wrong, or you're just focusing on the wrong problem.
Anyways, good luck to everybody involved. Yeah, I think eventually regulation will catch up, and then
Don't bet on it, Ofuro.
Why?
These people inside that office that I'm not going to mention, as long as they are around, just assume that everything you are saying.
I'll soon start sending them. I'll start sending them anonymous tips. I feel like one day I'll get one newsletter that will annoy me. I'll be like, please, CBN, look at what's happening. Can you believe these people are doing this thing?
Do you know that?
Because
I hear that a certain company that recently acquired a pensions business sent out a pensions ad to all their bank
customers. Yep.
I hear that the industry is not finding it funny, and they've reported them to PenCom.
Yep, they have to report them to PenCom and CBN because
they reported them to PenCom.
Yeah.
Oh my days! This is the funniest thing I've heard.
I respect it because it's bad. It is bad behavior.
Yeah.
It is bad behavior.
And on that pension thing as well, it's such a dumb thing. I'm sorry, because it's not just by clicking link that you open an RSC. Do you understand? Like, people that they're sending this thing to, a lot of them probably already have, especially for people that are already employed someone, already have a pension fund somewhere. Do you get what I mean? So it's not by clicking link that I will now.
But you know that there's transfer window, and also
how many people know the transfer window exists, or even the transfer window is even a straight up? Is it even a straight up transfer? I think moving your pension from somebody else is the most difficult thing and possibility.
No, it just takes time. But the forms are pretty straightforward. But what I wanted to say,
I just clicked on the link, they've disabled the form.
for pensions and banks, if they don't do that separation, we would have a different FUGAS order. Like, if they don't separate them and they let people.
Please explain what FUGAS is for listeners.
FUGAS is an acronym that refers to the biggest banks in Nigeria. So First Bank, UBA, GTB, Access Bank, and Zenith. So in the industry, if you want to talk about those tier one banks, you'll say Fugas to refer to all of them. And what I mean by what I just said is that if banks let pension businesses just decide, I said banks, if Pencom doesn't let or doesn't segregate the activities of the pension players and their banks, or the companies that own pension businesses and banks, or PFAs and banks, the order of the biggest banks in Nigeria would, that list of the top 5 or top 6, whatever, would look very, very different. So I can imagine that
Stanbic would have been there since.
Yep.
Stanbic could be there. These guys might also consolidate and appear. What's their name?
FCMB.
Yeah.
Speaking of FCMB, you know FCMB is launching a digital bank, but in the UK, and is based on is their UK entity, and they're essentially going to be like a multi-currency wallet.
Interesting.
So just out of curiosity, to serve Nigerians, they will come in here and do what? Get MMO.
So I think they're most likely going to rely on FCMB Nigeria.
I see.
So UK banking services will be provided by FCMB UK. Nigerian banking services will be provided by FCMB Nigeria. It will be interesting, sure. I want to see how they play it out, or how they roll it out, because I remember when Sterling Bank did their own switch, or did their own code switch. Yeah, that don't really, I mean, it exists, but yeah, it's not really popular.
Just for the record, for Kaoshi people, I've taken screenshots. So don't bother.
Please, when you're sending it to CBI, please copy me.
I'm not sending anything to CBI, so leave me.
We'll crack down. We'll crack down on all this illegal activity. Crack down. There's even one I saw, what's it called? Speaking of snitching stuff, there's even Binance listed. You can now sort for their P2P. You can sort by banks, like specific banks that you want to trade with. And I'm going to report all those banks. I'm going to report all of them that are enabling crypto activity, that they are in cahoots with Binance.
You know, maybe we should actually even start this as a service. Regulation as a service.
Snitching as a service.
We'll just be going around reporting everybody. Nobody is safe in the ecosystem.
If you have a startup and your competitor is doing something illegal, send it to us. We'll snitch.
To the very top.
We'll send anonymous letter to the very
directors, to the CBN directors,
and email payment services, and say, director appear, and say, hello, please, this is what they are doing.
Excuse, sir. According to your policy, these people are breaking the law, and other people are copying them. I enjoin you to please take action. By the way, that's the funniest word.
Activity. So that super cash thing I referenced earlier, people like reporting to CBN that super cash is not remitting their dollar to their account. And I'm just there. The CBN guys just look at this like, I do not regulate this person. when did they do this activity?
They'll say, they'll do memo. Please bring me the list of all IMTOs. There's somebody will email them the list. You now print it out, because now so civil service they do. Then they'll start checking with Biro one by one. Say, I can't see any cheaper cash here.
It's like that time they wrote that letter when they banned FX, and CBN wrote that letter and said, TransferWise, Azimo, something else are not recognized by the CBN. And show me that somebody wants to go and cast.
My day.
They always snitches.
People don't snitch enough in this industry. When MTN does Momo transaction USSD with no fee, that's using their telco business to augment their PSB business. That's a flagrant violation of the guidelines around PSB businesses, but I'm not sure anybody has reported them. But if you're a bank and you want to report it,
I don't think people know. I don't think they know. But if you're a bank, exactly, just let us know. We'll snitch on your behalf. Because me yourself, I don't like what MTN is doing.
MTN sending Momo this thing to their MTN customers, also a violation, just so you're aware. You know what to do.
Why did MTN use my registration details from my phone registration to create my Momo account? There's no Chinese wall.
And that's a violation. We cannot allow the sanctity of the capital markets and financial services industry to fall apart.
People can't be doing anyhow. I mean, there are regulations for a reason.
Put in place, control measures, and we'll ensure that we follow through.
No comment. No comment. The thing is, I guess there's a thin line between, people, how to explain, exploring the gray area and moving the ecosystem forward, and then people just, I guess, blatantly doing illegal. I don't know. It's a weird thing. Good luck to everybody involved, sure.
I think CBN should start announcing it like the way that Kenyan CBN announced them. Say all banks must desist from doing business with Flutterwave and Chipper Cash. That's how they'll be announcing as soon as we snitch. So it has come to our attention that people who are doing foreign exchange. I'm surprised nobody snitched on Bata.
Are you so?
No comment. Let's end this episode. No comment.
Are you surprised? Are you sure?
No comment. No comment.
I'm sure they snitched, but
no comment. No, off your mic. Off your mic. Let's end this episode, please.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening to this episode. Again, we're recording remotely, so if there's a bit of weirdness in our dynamic, please bear with us. These are busy times for all three of us. We wanted to get the content out.
His babies are crying for him on the internet.
I'm very reluctant to come back to that country. I'm very reluctant. I'm sorry. I've seen the good life. I can't come back.
So I just giving us food content every day, and me, I'm just here having envy. But it's all right. It's all right.